think I'm back. Yeah, live. I had to restart the stream, just to let you know. Cool. So yep. I have kids. I don't know about you. I have two kids now, 17, 16 years old. And very early I figured out this is not, it can be emotionally, as a parent, people get emotionally over invested. It depends on the couple important factors, but in general it's the same like our age, when we were any age. People, parents want to impose some ideal standards or standards, like I want for my kids above but where I was at that time. Imagine that somebody at that age, in teen years, said, okay, you'll do this. What did you do? What did I do? What did most of us do? F you, I'll do my thing. So I got into terms got faced with that reality. Okay, and I said to my kids straight, like, you'll hate me. but you'll turn up to be decent people, and there is that biological misalignment through generations. You cannot align so easily generations. It's possible to treat kids like little toys, tin soldiers, push them around until some point, but and they can be doctrinized, but freedom of choice, freedom of expression, it's actually that Prometheus fire. It requires wisdom to wield. That's kind of for kids. So give kids fire, you know. If you ask it, yes. Don't ask me some other person's personal question. Oh, that's better phrasing it. There is two of them and they're different. So one personality I prefer, another not so much. Between two of them. And there is different there are differences, yeah. Whatever. My younger daughter find a work over the summer. Older son is like a I'll caricaturize it, sitting like a plant. Not literally, but I tease him that way. I'm not wealthy enough to impose any higher standards, so we are just enjoying life as it comes along, as stuff comes along. Yeah, I'm not privileged to there are so many, not so many, but there are a few sensitive topics with parenting. One thing is having, like, being wealthy and having being able to buy a lot of stuff. Then on the opposite side, there is a kid with needs, a kid with, I don't know, ill kid that you need to tend a lot without resources as a parent. So the scale is really not unbalanced, but large scale. Depends where you can, what aspect is what exposure over there you're getting. So it's not simple. It's not. We cannot put it in simple terms. That's where many institutions and social policies fail. You cannot just simply generalize most of those things. That's okay if you're having a, I don't know, 2-person interview and you say that at that moment, but it cannot apply to the whole world. There is that. There are some kind of stereotypes that come up, we could say often, like rich kids are spoiled and things like that, but it doesn't need to be that way. And it depends on the culture of the environment, social environment. What they are doing, what's the stage, how much investment is there in education, what's the pace of life, everyday life, traversal, work, home. I remember around more than 10 years ago, I heard on the radio while at work, so just on the side listening to the radio news, I think Bolivia implemented, or it was about to implement, a working wage for the housewives, or how would we call them, domestic, whoever is tending to domestic chores, household, keeping the household. That's if governments and in policies and in propaganda they take stand like family is important, it's the building unit of the community, of the nation, blah, blah. Then get the wage to the mother. Official government, state level, republic level wage to the women. Forgive me for like gender role calling, but we are talking about that. Yeah. Because or we just kind of play this slow but obviously corrupt game, like we have religious organization institutions that tend to those loose ends in the set rule of whatever sort of government, spiritual or political, by the law and by the spirit. So that's I don't know where they're at with that policy in Bolivia, but that was like, wow, look at this is progressive. That's somebody thinking about. And I like those some ideas coming out from South America, because they kind of they are like getting late in the game, but actually they skipped some steps that it's a place where the ancient world meets with the modern world, and they have kind of privilege to skip some parts of the developing society through the post-industrial age, industrialization, fighting for revolutions for the worker rights, freedoms. So they can jumpstart their democracy without luggage, without weights holding them down. If they're up to, I heard Bolsonaro, what's it called, Lula, the Brazilian president, I think new government over there. They're actually asking, you want us to fix, do you want to throw all the responsibility for Amazon on us? Why don't you get us some money, substitutes for subsidiaries, like subventions for this revitalization, environmental efforts to help Amazon. You made us actually create a farmland out of that for your fast food meat production, for the livestock soya plantations. So there are some ideas that go under the radar, some policies. I also keep a track daily on the mainstream, just to, like, I also keep a track on spam just to know what's going on in the shadows. I keep myself in the loop. And meanwhile, I can only do one thing at a time, so I'm just walking in circle here in the game while I'm talking, because I cannot do two things, play and speak. And I think my viewership is just amazed. Saying, wow, amazing. I'm also in the same dilemma for the game. What is it worth? Well, I figured out a long time ago about the games that kind of tease with cash rewards. I learned to appreciate my free time capital of my life. We should consider our lives as a time capital. That's the underlying real value of even a fiat traditional monetary system. We can see that we can count the value of money economy as it's counted as not positive money amount, but the debt amount. It means that there's the investment. So things are a bit educational system is lagging with the current terms of and conditions of play of the game. I have a lot of resents to the institutions that just like to show off, like we have in Croatia government. It's just silly charade of fools and naive. As long as the EU monetary system and the printer over there is doesn't run out of ink and paper, they're all fine, everything is fine. But we ourselves here in the country don't have any special gross domestic product except tourism. That's our main export. And even those earnings go out probably. And they just slipped down 3 decades, rolled out like, oh, that's what we are working on, to go to the streets of Brussels and be formal beggars, except just the Bulgarians and Romanians and other nomadic communities that get into the European capitals, beg on the street, or not prostitute. We'll do it now officially. And also I usually say, I call out past generations that spent years in higher education, and after 3 decades, since I'm in my 40s, okay, you high educated folks with diplomas, thank you. This is a good progress we have made in these 3 decades. Great. Where are the people that actually learned some stuff and can do some? Where are those guys? And I heard even on GDC talks, on the seminars held there by the experienced people from the industry, team managers for development and whatever. They said it's important to hear and allow and even give priority to the silent voices. We are here where where we are on account of loud voices, those that stand up and start, I don't know, yelling, not yelling, but being loudest at the first, when it's like a meeting, team meeting or whatever. We want to hear now those silent, probably wise voices that will go with the policies and terms brought on the meetings, but don't want to create waves, like those louder ones. Because so far we've seen where we are, dealing mostly with the loud voices. So even traditional business management sees the importance of and maybe just to try work it out with taking into account, provide opportunity to and take into account the opinions of the silent ones. Generally, that's on the national level. That's probably silent majority, what we usually call, yeah? Those are people that make stuff happen. If there were a lot more bad things in the world, it would be a really bad world. But mostly, life is everywhere, in average, comfortable, nice. But those few bad apples kind of spoil the, we don't have traffic accidents all the time, every day. So most of us drive decently. Or we understand the culture in civil society, the bon ton or whatever you want to call it. But those few accidents kind of mess it up for the silent majority. Now this can take conversation who knows where. It's a branching topic. But I actually, in my environment where I live and work, those modern ideas were not taken into account, like, especially because my whole industry was outsourced. We were actually the source. We were the target service provider as an outsourced resource. So I don't have too much there to say, like what we have in contemporary and this time of, like recently, the digital platform services providers, workers that are not official workers, just like Bolt drivers or Uber drivers are unionizing actually. Like, we don't have worker rights. We are just I'm just some dude installed the app, click yes, and okay, now my life is in mess. I don't have days off. I don't have health insurance, but expected meet the level of service, like quality. But in a way, that's again, I could again put that in a category of Prometheus fire. Are you ready? Are you wise enough to wield that sword, that hone that fire, that power? Freedom is power, responsibility, like private keys. Not your keys, not your coins. That's why it's like said, democracy is worst and best that we have so far. But we somehow all see the corruption many times. The government is like outsourcing the responsibility that nobody is signing for. No, I'm just in the role of, but personally I'm not responsible. That's how we have it in Croatia. Nobody's never responsible. Shit happens, and yeah, I talked to him. He said that, and so I don't know. I'm in the loop, but I'm not responsible. And then year passes, and we are at the Jubilee, like I don't know, Veterans Day. Yeah, veterans. You know, here's the example of something, but that we are not. So bow down your heads. Be grateful for what we have now, and I have, and maybe you don't. I'm done. I'm just content filling. That's my stand. I'm just taking the opportunity to spill my guts out now when we met in real time. I need to hide. Well, with hearing about the load shedding you're having schedule, it opened my eyes about the reality over there, because I know from, I don't know, some documentary about years ago, maybe even TED Talk, that the international, or I don't know, UN, whoever, international energy and what environmental consortium or whatever institution, in simple terms, like there's a policy from international community about Africa to keep it scarce with energy, so you know, like so you don't ruin your country with, I don't know, bad environmental policy, poor environmental or standards, because there are areas where there is scarce population, and there is like a doctor's office with a solar panel and one fridge for all medications for the region, while one nuclear plant would solve all the energy issues for the large region in Africa, in some random country, let's say, that is mostly exposed to over the desert area or tropical, while others are being better off with a lot of water and maybe hydroelectrical resources available to build, I don't know, hydroelectric plants. So I'm aware about that reality over there, that it's not your own choosing to have load shedding, but international some institution realized, oh, we'll prevent you from even thinking about developing, let's say, nuclear energy program, which will solve all problems and set you off in good direction. And nobody speaks about that. I can't remember where I heard that, some random YouTube video from 10 years ago, when you could hear a lot of stuff. I was always skeptical, but listened to all content available. And or it was some TED Talk, I don't remember now. What say you, Canadian ambassador? Hey, Terence. What's up, Philip? What did Spanish John Nicholas said to Iranian priest? Ah, what? That movie, bigger, longer, and uncut, was a real eye-opening for me in my life. That diplomacy, that stereotype diplomacy gameplay over there brought out in great manner of greatness. Give us that internet money. We want money. We demand money. Canada is doomed to recession. Without Terence and Philippe, our main export is a comedy. TV sitcom. Hey, Satan! I just woke memories. Just throw. Amazing. Oh, bonus. If that parkour has more checkpoints, because it turns up as difficult, challenging for me. But I know I would regret if there are if there are more checkpoints on the track. I would regret. Oh, it was too easy, just checkpoints. Well, it said that they have checkpoints. Use a bone to spawn at last checkpoint, and that's the blue flame on the floor. And I thought that the lumps are the checkpoints, but no, lumps are just some half-ass shit block platform. How about let me try that parkour. Parkour. Did you try Build Wars? Build Battle Bed Wars. I was looking on occasion. Maybe. So there is some in the wild, at least coal or iron. Is there official portal to it? I saw somebody built a nether portal where there is some nether realm. Cobweb, please let me go. And I just jumped back into cobweb. Wow. I've seen I never played before the servers. I saw my kids. They liked it approach, like where everything is defined, rules set. And that was also their entrance to other, I don't know, multiplayer genres like Bed Wars or some other confrontational team confrontation style. Control the area or whatever set of rules. While I would rather, I don't know, just load Quake or whatever game, play with bots locally, and I don't need to bother with any extras. I was actually, I turned my back for a decade around, but even maybe I'm just imagining that because that much time has passed. I was away from computers completely and gaming. I said, I need to work. That's just consuming my time. And Minecraft got me back because that was enough game on a next level after a long time. That it's like this open world simulation stuff. For me, the gameplay progressions in Minecraft, like the bosses or whatever, that's useless. Give me open world, give me some simulated environment where I can just explore. The landscapes, visuals are for me the best thing in the game. I would just go and explore, set, or even without the supplies, go through the caves in my original saved world. So the file grew in size over 100 megabytes. As that much of world is generated. And through a few years I connected, I had a vision to cultivate the regions or connect them, like create some path, mark them. And I did some in two, I think, cardinal directions. I did connect two opposing ends of the world, like put torches, some blocks, stuff like that. I'm constantly sitting down in the cobweb. While ignoring the reality of need to go pee. That's the real world we live in. Wake up. Wake up, people. The emperor is naked. There's no clothes. Hi, I'm back. I'm back. Now it's 1000 XP. There are those categories like accumulate these, meet these challenge requirements. Kind of like standardized daily weekly challenges. I'm on. Not when you're mute. When you have a producer yourself like me. Myself. That can tell you on time, like, you know, you're still streaming, mic is hot. You know, the angels looking after over. When you're hours and hours into stream, forgetting about letting your guard down. I just found I was actually really, I don't know, uninterested in streaming. That was like, why? What's the purpose? Then actually I opened, joined data, tried this, tried that, and actually almost decided like this streaming stuff is not interesting. And then it changed my mind. ep.3 design, dobar dan I tebi. Kako ide? Hvala što si navratio. I have also some my Croatian, Serbian, Balkan speaking language viewers on Xenon. I'm trying out this parkour, but first challenge I cannot overcome is speak and play. Conversation and gameplay. And it's getting warmer here where I'm at. We had some few refreshing days below 30 degrees Celsius now back up, and my computers are just keeping me warm, uncomfortably warm. I'm slightly handicapped. I'm right-handed, but I'm handicapped on the left hand by an injury years ago, and I decided to play a right-hand keyboard, and mostly I can, but there is some rapid key presses like double to run, sprint doesn't. The nerves in the index finger are not like in left hand. That is mostly, you know how it is. This hand is rapid fire. This hand is I don't know, doing this, and nervous tissue is good with sending and that much impulse sending intensity, nervous impulses to the muscle. But on the right hand, when I never do that, not so often, but with practice comes gets better. Even switching, I don't know, mouse in the left hand, it's like, I don't know, that you have like somebody others at the beginning, like some third person's arm. What's going on here? I remember in 99, 98 when we first sat down at the 3 FPS game, viewing with mouse, we were rolling on the floor as we sat one by one for a match of gameplay, watching each other how we interpret with body gesture these 3D. Like you get in the view, hand rolls the mouse, view in some weird angle, trying to run away. We were used to, I don't know, one stick, one button for years. Now here you go, 3D. And people were like, S goes up the chair and hands are going at the opposite way on the keyboard and mouse, and like it's halfway in a squat, trying to still play the game, just because that way the perspective in the game in 3D was acting up on the mind, how to interpret all that. And then with over, I don't know, a couple of weeks, you synchronize, get in sync with what arms I'm doing, and the screen is fixed. You don't need to move your head and shoulders and torso, same place. Like trying with turning the head moved, but actually that's the hand what's supposed to do. So there is a translation with nervous impulses talking. Move the view into the arm. That's the translation. That's the culture shock over there. I will jump now on this Skelly's head. No. In a parkour, yeah. Just the decorated heads. Wither, zombie, Wither Skelly. I'm streaming in 720, 60 frames with multiple output plugin, and it's on my primary. It's okay on Xenon, and the others a bit choppy. Depends on this private server Hyperion TV, and it's doing good job. And this Intel onboard hardware for Intel QuickSync encoder in OBS that is available in Windows, not in Linux, does pretty good job with video quality and output. I thought, okay, I'll need to manage myself with the X264 CPU encoder, but Intel in Windows, in Linux is not that good, not the same software for encoder. Just bringing that out. Those are kind of things I think, at least those of us who stream. And these I use, it's generation I, 3 and 5 Intels. No big deal. 2 cores, 4 cores, hyper threading, 4 threads. And I get here and even got here. And this I have a Ryzen 360 with 6 cores, 12 threads, but I just keep it for gaming. But I will actually like to develop on that some more real-time rendering and stuff. But I have games software that was installed when I bought it, and I'll use that for content, to play it through and so on. I want also to go live with do some simple game development with Godot game engine that is actually in top tier of open source and free to use, completely free, except the custom assets on the marketplace. They're powerful with it's a powerful tool for traditional 2D games. Many indies take it because of the simplicity, portability, just one executable, and that's all to install it, unzip it and run it. I think Steam, it's available on Steam store. I'm not sure for the Epic, just for the sake and simplicity of installation, or you just download it from their website. And what I'm mostly what I'm mostly interested is the simplicity of exporting to the web browser-based game. I had two simple demo projects, gameplays, 3D driving and 2D game platformer shooter. and just selected the target platform web, checked the few checkboxes like compatibility, like OpenGL 2 or 3 or whatever, and got the exported folder and uploaded FTP to web, and there is inside a web page with game, and that was that. Half hour to publish on the web, self-publish of the game. That's the thing. That is the thing. Or game or private stream. What's I've seen last time over weekend, Friday. What was it? What? Yes. How does that translate? Oh, Pacific, okay. Congratulations. Whoa. I got in a few, but at least one memorable airdrop, if I could fit any of those, like community event stuff, Discord, Gecko. I got a good airdrop from Access Protocol token on Solana. Around 170 euros worth in January. Usually I'm always skeptical. I like play turn model, like we discussed earlier. Like, you need to grind a lot, and it will be better off getting a normal job. But on occasion, when you're concentrated and do the right things, it's worth a while for some projects. You would say, oh, who am I? I'm just an, what would I call it? That syndrome, intruder syndrome, or outsider. And then the favor turns on your side. I'm sorry, viewers, for this, but this parkour will get better. Whatever I get, I'll buy out all your pains and from having to go through this with me. Anyway, I need to rehearse. I need somewhere, somehow, to get better in this multitasking, gaming, and keeping an eye on chat. You'll be rewarded for your attention, for the effort. And even my neighbor, he bought a couple of years ago. I'm in a semi-detached house, so my neighbor is this is all private house, but another family live on the other side, and so they sold one apartment. This new owner, past few years, had to do some reparations, but it turned out to be more than expected. And even now, years after now, the past month, he started afternoon, I guess after work, he's knocking something, kicking, hammering something, and I can hear him going on tracing out something along his bottom floor. and I'm having headphones on the head, and I can hear him on some section of his interior in the apartment. I guess that either there was some rot of the concrete, or who knows what. We have cracks in the house from the house is now 40 years old, and it's 3 stories up with cellar and roof, and we had a road street being built, dug deep couple times, and we are on a hill, so my house sticks up tall in and there is many vibrations go through the whole constructions. A few years ago we had a main road which is 1 street away from my street, and they were like building a main road, serious stuff, so they were pounding and the house was vibrating, literally waving. My balcony was waving. I could feel going up and down for I don't know, few physical. And I would just go on the balcony and look at my neighbor. He was also like, we could see, just talking with the eyes, like, we see this. Now that's done, but the house suffered. I just earlier in the day met my old friend. We were talking about this and that, and she mentioned the earthquake. She's in Italy, and Italy had some devastating earthquakes on 2 occasions past 10 years, and my area is also tremoring here and there, but I didn't hear it where I'm at. Not big earthquakes like real damaging, but past few years there was 2 in a row, like one at the early spring, and then another one around 10 months later. A lot of old houses, poorly built stuff went down. Far less, much less than the recent Syria, Turkey earthquake. That was real devastation. Here what was properly built, like modern urban building, was all in okay, but just brick on brick stuff with super old dry mortar was just rumbled down. Venice, Italy. It's sinking into ground, yeah. They had drought, they had like not like tide season. They, last summer I think there was a drought, so dried canals. As the north of Italy, that river Po over there was dropped in levels, like. And then again, now we have a lot of Europe and North Europe continental parts suffering from floods. So if somebody was praying to God, like we need, there are droughts, we need water now. How much water did you need? You need to specify. Oh, too much. Have you listened, watch those videos of George Carlin? Are you familiar with that stuff? Huh? Huh? Yeah. Old dude. He's George Carlin. It would be oversimplification just say that he's a stand-up comedian. He's educated, I don't know, in journalism, but I'm just pulling out of my hand. But he did a lot of work in comedy, live on TV and so on. He's got the logical. He's got the good bit on God and praying. Like there's a God's plan. Who are you to pray? Like demand it. Do my plan, not your plan. What's that? What kind of attitude is that? Like do this, not that. Do my thing. A few days ago, I was thinking about some everyday stuff, and I thought about going something out, and I just through my mind flashed my neighbor, which is an elder lady, and like everything was like taken for granted in my head, and I realized, wait, what's her name? Empty box. Who changed this folder? What's her name? I was taking it for years, all the time for granted, and then I realized, hey, this memory is not refreshed, nobody is maintaining this. What's the lady's name? Not this, completely lost even the symbolical, I don't know, meme. What's the reference? What's the lady's name? And had to let that, drop that, like leave it like it is, okay, I'm clueless. And a few days later I met her in the shop on the register, and then just like refreshed, okay, I know her name, and I confessed that, spilled that out there, like I forget. We see each other every day through the window on the first neighbor, and I forgot your name. It was like a comment on the side, like stuff you take for granted for decades, how the mind and body tricks you, fools you, like, yeah, I know stuff, but no. the organ is changed. Every 10 years we change every cell, every atom, molecule in our body with new material. So there is actually, that's I often try to find a way to explain many stuff with that scientific like effect, that we change material in our bodies. Generally, statistically, every 10 years we are new body, new material, new pile. So there is some process that how the new cells, new material inherits the skills and memory from the previous material that was there. Like while cloning, there is some semantic need. Has to also some abstractions have to also be reinstated into new cells. And we take it for granted, like that will go on by itself, but some personal stuff, really abstract, will not get so easily translated into new cells, new material, new parts of the regenerated brain. That's why yoga is performed. That's and I mean more like physical exercise, body exercise, because you again reinstate the nervous impulses, highways and neural connections. Yeah, refresh. What are we doing here? Raise the hand. Oh, how is that done? I didn't do that past 2 days. I'm starting. Do it like this. Okay. But it's like it's the process that newborns, toddlers go through. I kind of remember when I didn't know and understand what's up or down. My world is all like viewed from lying on the back, and when I start to realize the plasticity of the world I'm in now, after being born, like, there's this hyper dimension, you know, there's some part of intelligence or whatever incentive we get or impulse to try and explore that other dimension, like forward, back, up, down. Not just the projection, like from the cradle some characters turn up, some heads pop in the frame. How's that, baby? What's going on? Oh, so you are up to date. That's kind of my train of thought. Time sharing. There is some organic processes from the brain that fills up in real time let's say, intentional, willful access to compartments. Not just waiting on the impulse or some causation event, but actually, okay, I want to go there, I'm going there. I even simplified that, saying like we have this part of consciousness that we operate daily, which is lexical, verbal, and tend to label everything we live in our mind in part consciously, but not non-verbal. Like that's subconscious. Do you understand? Like there are, for our train of thoughts, there are subtitles, and when subtitles are there, okay, that's conscious. I did that unconscious. Like there was no word, nobody was speaking any human language, no symbolical train of thought, like in symbolical language on the higher level was no expression was said inside. Oh, that's like unconscious or subconscious. Actually, consciousness is all there. Just depends how much of our intelligence is just locked in the human standardized symbolical language conversation. So it depends how people interpret themselves internal dialogues. Can they reach deeper below the verbal level in like mental acoustics, or just stick to the titles, subtitles? Comfort zone, they can just call it comfort zone. Yeah, comfort zone. Even when the score gets to settle, you say, oh, it can. That's when it can get. Those are those personal, intimate contracts. Nobody saw me signing this deal. Oh, I'm so gonna regret it, but it will be in 10 years, 15 years. And then slowly but surely, day by day passes and 10 years go by. And comes that day and you get to the realization it's time to pay. I think in the legislature there is a concept that there is no social or communal responsibility. Everything is a personal responsibility. But we sometimes kind of make those some private contracts, intimate contracts, with idea like community will take the part of blame. And there are many occasions where when it is the case, and it is. There is a lot of passive pressure from community, from the standards that are like cultural norms that are unspoken, or just in visual, not in literal sense, and we just take it for granted. Especially since they have repercussions, there are some resulting harm done comes out of it. And there is that process of boiling a frog that's just comfortably sitting there being cooked until too late. Like you. Let me just point out to the public that I'm on the private Discord voice chat that is for this occasion not public, so that's why I'm talking to Justin, not myself. I heard recently something very simple like that from a Jewish rabbi from the, I guess, from Torah or whatever, of their wisdom. It's like there are occasions when people encounter experience themselves in other people or in the world during life. And that's like an important moment. That's when you experience or meet God. But it just short phrase I heard in just on the side, didn't dwell into it too deep, so it's not just that simple, but it's simple like that, but with more deeper meaning. Because that sort of experience and exposure is the closest you might, as in a human capacity, is living this life, come to terms and experience something like that. Inner body, outer body experience with another conscience. That is because arithmetically you would be reduced to absolute, being confronted with yourself. Can you understand that? Me and me is almost zero, but experiencing the zero, that's kind of the God aspect of that event or experience. Experiencing during lifetime zero, that's my kind of term of interpretation, like rationalization of that. I've heard, but I just simplified it that way because I had a partial experience of myself looking outside of me, but not in a weird sense or hallucinogenic. I was just mesmerized with watching somebody and experiencing my own feelings, watching somebody else. And when we watch somebody, there are some I don't know, unverbal communication coming out, speech coming out from somebody's body language that we automatically, subconsciously interpret somehow. And there is also, in that train of thought, there are emotions. There is no lexic, verbal, semantic over there. But our body recognizes it, and we often are conscious about that. And those emotions were weird because the whole arrangement, the whole package of that, what I was seeing, experiencing, that was like I'm experiencing myself just out of me. I recognize this body language, this what I'm reading. Like that was kind of what I was. That's how I interpreted that previous saying about experiencing God through meeting yourself out in the world. There is another one of those kind of arithmetics, theological arithmetics, I call it. Love is like we cannot love anybody, and we love only ourselves. Also from Jewish theology. That's like the ultimate. And I think I also, well, I might go into try to explain it, which is just guesswork, but the idea is that there is no, let's say, we cannot prove that love is transmittable, in a sense. Most of our conscious stuff is through rationalization, even experience, even emotional experience. That's on a organic level, that can be rationalized. Chemical processes, physical stuff, and so on. So it's always self-experiencing. That's how I rationalize that. I can love, I like, or we like having attention, but the emotion is ours. I'm not feeling your emotions, your love. You're feeling your love, I feel my love. But over the time we express that in a way like that's like it's out of body experience, like it's shared experience. That's what we, that's why in modern times we have those clips, interviews from media, like, oh, you are an old couple, how do you do it? Oh, we it's giving and receiving and giving, like come on, it's compromise, yeah, generally. That would all elderly couples say about the secret of longevity of their, but they also lack the nervousness, the stressful approach. They are like calm with all they understand what's being like it's like their egos are more tame than just being wild, passionate. Me. Okay, me and you. Ah, me and you. You have a doggo, if I remember right. You have a doggy? Yeah, some pet or something. Oh, I got one too. Ladies, gents, boys. Brought up. Tended to. Oh my. As much as they are the coolest of them all, the ladies, cats, they are also the most problematic in that sense. Like, wait, this is out of control. But it's cooler to have, there is more, I don't know, intellect packed inside. I have but sterilized cat, female. And I don't know, I'm having a time of my life, considering like having a relation with somebody. Now it can sound weird, but it's not that I'm in love or I don't know what with that cat. We just take ourselves like and acknowledge ourselves. She's not the one of those that jumps in your lap and attention. She was raised a bit differently, and there is also one thing. She had oh yeah, her mother was just, I think she kept her with her for a month or whatever time is required for them to learn the basic stuff. They didn't. And my kids and my ex took them with them, and she had the inflammation of the eye on one eye, but didn't lose it. She has it, but it's foggy, not what's this called? Not I don't know, but so she's kind of she had that while developing, and many times those handicaps bring out more intellect into play for many, and what I want to say is just like I see like as if she considers everybody her kittens. We had her sterile after two failed carriages, birds, and now she's like cool with that. They're settled with it, but there is still life. Life goes. There's some. I mean, she keeps to herself. It brings the prey home. Like here. Look, this is how it's done. Get this. This is what you need. This is the stuff. And only on occasion while I'm sleeping, she comes close, like physically close. Otherwise, we all keep to ourselves. And also give me food. Where's my food? But she's not too demanding. She's picky, choosy about the food. Not gonna eat everything I toasted her. But the amount, let's say if you annoy her, like try to pet her, and she'll show the aggressive. She like, but not widely claw you or bite you, just like push you with the paw. And there is this situation moment where we are when I realized that she came up to sleep at my feet. And I noticed like that's her comfort zone. Okay, you come here on a safe place and just shut down and you're safe. And then I tried to play with her, try to reassure her, like, and I noticed her back feet are towards my feet, and I with my toe kindly push on her back feet, gentle cushions on the feet, and she in the sleep she pushes back, and just enough force to respond to my force. But I see in the shoulders, in the conscious mind, that she'll like react, but she figures out, okay, that's nothing, that just he's annoying. so I would point out that she actually brought the concept of moderate approach to my attention. Like, we can play, we can fool around, but moderately. And that's what I say when I said I have a relation with her. It's because there is some level of transmission of knowledge, experience, conscious. I don't know. get our attention, yeah. There's still stuff to be learned. That's what I meant actually, but you would get to terms with it. It's not all set. Sometimes I tease people with the concept, why don't you go to Mars? You know, you have your air conditioning, you hate the Earth, Earth's not good, environment is nature will kill you. Now when you have air condition and airtight windows, you are ready for Mars mission, like interplanetary travel. You don't need Earth environment anymore. That's the new frontier. Like that's there are opportunities on Mars for people like that. If you think like, okay, Earth is a played out game, nothing new here. Then I would say like, okay, so you come to Mars and in 60 seconds you're okay. When we're going back, no. No way, man. Nobody's going back. Did you bring the potatoes? Martian, huh? I don't know about that first one because that's what I say. Because it's probably I probably lost in translation. Could even slip my radar, but could be also just look. That's not too old movie. That's not like that's 21st century production, yeah, is it? So now sound seems now it seems kind of rings a bell. That's why I say it's lost in translation, because I depend a lot of on Croatian translation titles that are sometimes differently phrased to match the gotcha. I had actually something, I have some thought in the oven about that interstellar life, interplanetary life. I'm more aligned with the idea Starship Earth, because some calculations tend to point no, just intellect, scientific research, simulation and calculations. We could come, there is a simulation from past, I don't know, 10ish years research, but those are all actually old researches. If we calculate energy and technology required resources for interstellar planetary, we will actually require something like whole solar system just to get going, but with assurance that we'll get somewhere. In how many generations, it's not determined, but that would. So we're kind of already there are already all technologies here developed at play, all processes, cloning, regeneration, plant life, food. We have on a safe distance, we have a star fuel resource, and so on and so on. So we actually just would need to, like on the last Stargate, the last generation season, Stargate universe. What's it called? The cancelled show from 10ish years ago. They also boarded a spaceship that they just need to figure out where it's going. Like there was they figured out some scientific clues stuff about, and but the show is cancelled, so we don't know the message. But the thing is, like, everything is already there. We just need to learn how to read it. The mystery is like hiding in the plain sight. That's the concept, the idea. That's sort of true, but I don't sign up for that because doesn't work for newborns. That we are all born stupid in a sense. Yeah. They need to update the vocabulary, the the contemporary symbolical language to interpret the same message. Exactly. That's a good parallel. Firmware. There is that BIOS level that's solid and unchangeable, unmutable. I think good real life, great real life example for, I don't know, changing firmware is for the countries that have changed the political scenario, set of rules, like ex-social countries becoming democracies. Like that's the firmware change. But I cannot after firmware change, I'm still conscious that I can see the log. I can read the log. So we said that yesterday, today we say this, like I will not forget what firmware doesn't change the log on the blockchain permanent. So I take that as a hypocrisy, like, okay, yesterday was this, today is that. Yeah, cool. No, we can go just be curious skeptics. That's it. I think I would call it out. That's a trap. It's a trap. I just want to avoid being required to say one thing, or a second day, and each time like, yes, that's it, that's me, I'm that guy, I'm the character, I'm defined character. Be water, my friend. Be like water. You will change. You will be put in a vessel. Actually, he is consciously commenting in public himself, like, I need to remind myself to be water. That's probably the level of tutor teacher that's required, that to express out loud what you mean with your inner conversation, what's practical also for you. I'm here on my plot. I'm here on my plot trying to figure out at least what can I get a vision, what's going on here, what to practically do. Because I figured out I had to, well, actually I was letting go the idea I will do this, do that in games. Is the resource play is different completely. Yeah. Yeah. There are those cycles like surviving against mobs, pitted with mobs on the surface, and then cycle of mining, like just guard down and then getting out to surface, and completely different mindset, like, oh, this will kill me instantly, or just forcing mining without resources in dark and just slipping into lava. I don't know. Building a business. So plot is vertical real estate. My guess is probably to visually sign something on the map from that perspective. Put a mark. That's the first level, first step. Vox Discord or Satlantis? Or game community, Vox game community on Satlantis special Discord. Vox is OG. Boxes OG, I'm just too lazy to create and drop over there because I have some old assets that I'd like to eternalize on blockchain, and like I used to say, to stop being selfish, shy about some stuff, so I can go forward with new stuff that I naively believe that I want to create some new stuff. But at the moment I'm learning new techniques, illustration, visual stuff, using old assets. That it's not bad, because I use it as a kind of a sketch template, which is good. But I would like to have old also, original stuff published as it is, just so there is an evidence of what was in the beginning. Quadrel. Web of social trust, I got it. In what sense? Proprietary, okay. It's not it's the new one. It's not Wax now, it's Cloud Wallet, something like that. we need more quicker, more faster, efficient spread of world for this sort of technology. But what I think it's more required, it's the analog version of decentralization. We cannot just rely on internet. It's not guaranteed. And that's why we cannot avoid policy, talking about politics and social stuff, higher level philosophy. That's why I said one and the other word. That's why. This is awesome that actually we got this way. Although I don't feel the difference between chatting. I experienced our chat when I'm trolling around on your stream, like the same thing, same experience, talking vocally or typing. But this is much better because I can actually elaborate my thoughts and. Yeah, sure. I was lucky that I stumbled upon you because I matched your train of thought. I managed to tune into the pace, kind of. And I didn't actually I didn't visit too many streams, but for a long time, let's say at least Theta, and it's good for my sake, from my point of view, that it's scarce in the it's just scaled down big platform. I in a sense. Like on a I don't know, 10,000 streamers on Twitch correspond on scaled down to Theta in just rough illustrated sense. So if I search for on 10,000 streams on Twitch, I would find again one or two that I'm comfortable with on a wavelength, like couple of you on Theta. Streaming is a great opportunity at the moment, uncensored opportunity to speak out, what is called evangelize for an idea, for a project or whatever. But it's hard. It's great, but it's hard to get water on the, what we say, on the mill. You have there we have a saying in local, like getting water on your mill, on your you get the traction, but it's what's a barren or futile, like doesn't yield, no yield. Kind of. So. Hi peeps, if anybody's there, I'm on chat in Discord with somebody, that's why it seems like I'm rambling, like you're missing a part of half of conversation. That's why, because I'm really talking with somebody in Discord, and I occasionally cut the feed to speak more privately. Just to let you know. Why don't I just make a hotkey here for the microphone, because it's much easier to hit the mute key than point the mouse on an image. So audio hotkeys, desktop, USB mic, push to mute. This is not a hotkey. Push to mute, of course, push to mute. Enable, push to mute. Enable, push to talk.